Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right. Thanks for joining us. If you're brand new to the show, please like, subscribe, all those things. Hopefully this will be beneficial to you. For those of you who have followed us for a while, thank you so much. Welcome back. And today, tip of the day. Now let's start with the tip, because this is one of those topics that is going to get some of you heated. Matter of fact, I will be shocked if many of you actually agree with me. You'll understand in a minute, so just hang on. Tip of the day: stop judging so hard. That's tough feedback for many of you. Look, we are put in this world right now during a time where judging seems to be rampant, as if you all know what's right and wrong, good and bad, evil and healthy, like whatever. I don't care what scale you're using at this moment. I do have a preferred scale, but so many of you, and I'm being direct with you, my listener right now, so many of you are judging so hard in so many ways. I was listening. I'm in a detour for just a second. I was listening to a teenager just in the last day or two talking about how the Olympics don't look that hard. What in the world are we teaching people when we can look at something from a distance and make ourselves believe that it's not difficult? If I took that teenager and I put them in the Olympics, what do you think would happen to them? In an event they thought that they thought looked easy, they would get annihilated, destroyed. But from a distance, it's so easy to be a critic. Stop judging so hard. You are not that great, and neither am I. Okay. For those of you who are following on Rumble, YouTube, or the like, you're going to get to see this. What I am about to show you is really the gist of what we're going to be talking about today. If you are following along, you right now on your screen, you see the Last Supper. The Last Supper as potentially reenacted by the LGBTQ community at the Olympics during the ceremonial opening. And there's some things I want to point out here. Number one, for those of you who think I'm going to side with one side or the other, you would be sort of correct. The Last Supper, first of all, as depicted, may not actually be totally accurate in the depiction below. That being said, we do know that there was a Last Supper. It is talked about biblically and historically. So I only bring that up because I want to tame your expectations. Some of you out there are also thinking, I'm about to just get after, because many of you know that I am a Christian, and you think I'm about to get after the representation in the upper part of this screen. And the truth is, that's not going to happen the way you want it to either. It's going to come for a lot of reasons from a different vantage point. I wanted you to see these images. I wanted you to be able to compare these images. And there's a lot of similarities, not going to lie. Was this maybe a frustrating image for many of you? Absolutely. Is that understandable from my vantage point? Absolutely. Understandable why that would be a frustrating portrayal of the Last Supper, potentially. Now, I know there's been denials. I have waited over a week, almost a week and a half, to put this together on purpose because I didn't want to do a crappy job. I wanted to make some valid points so that you can make your own decision. First, let's start with reality. France, where this took place, is somewhere, this is kind of interesting, do what you want, this is a fact, but it's an interesting fact, somewhere between 29 and 47% Catholic, according to the research. Now, that's a huge variance. I don't know exactly why there's such a variable there. Like that is so very different. But you're dealing with the lowest estimates, right around a third, approximately a third of the people. Now, I bring that up because if we want to empathize, which, as you know, around here, that's what we do. If we want to empathize, what do we need to say? Right off the bat, I would say, as an American, it's okay to state your thought and your opinion articulately, with kindness, and move on. If a third of their population gets irritated by this representation and they speak up for themselves and they are supported by the greater Christian community with something like, hey, we stand behind our Christian brothers and sisters in France as they have to navigate whatever this potential friction point is going to cause them in their homeland. Great, move on. Why? Because it's not my place to judge, nor is it yours. But that's not what happened. I had conversations with people I knew and know who are believers in Christ. And so many of them are so mad, angry, frustrated. I think that's a waste of our time and energy. Observant, attentive. If somebody speaks to you about it, being direct with kindness, fine. But angry? Why is it that we feel the need to police France right now when our own streets are a disaster? We have an illegal immigration problem. We're not showing love and kindness to the illegal immigrants. Matter of fact, we're not showing them love and kindness by keeping them here where we cannot support them. Or we're not showing our citizens love and kindness when we're keeping illegal immigrants in the United States and loving them and supporting them in ways we don't even care for our own citizens. Both of those are a problem. Why don't we clean up our own crap first? Okay. Another point I want to get to is point number 2 for those you keeping track. Mimicry is flattery. So let's assume for a moment, because it seemed pretty reasonable, you saw the picture, that there was a representation of the Last Supper with, a whole bunch of the LGBTQ community. Let's say that's the fact. Okay. There's all kinds of debate about even that, but let's say that's a fact for a second. If they're mimicking the Last Supper, how many opportunities have you had in the last week and a half? I'm asking you, the listener, right now. How many of you have had the opportunity to talk about the Last Supper? How many of you took advantage of the opportunity to talk about the Last Supper and the intent behind the Last Supper, what it actually means in a Christian faith? I would venture to say probably not many, if any, of you listening right now. Why not? Why are we missing opportunities that are given to us It doesn't matter where the opportunities come from. When somebody plants that right in your lap and you miss the opportunity to say, well, you know, I mean, I think it was a poor representation of the Last Supper, because the Last Supper is actually the last time that the disciples sat with Jesus and they learned a lot of things about who Jesus was, who he is, and who he is going to be. It is also an opportunity to show that communion, the idea of coming together as people, is really important and needs to happen, which, by the way, the representation at the Olympics did that part. The deceptive part is it's not about unity in the Olympics. It really wasn't. Now, I know they're putting out this information that it was, but it was about uniqueness. And unity and uniqueness are very, very different. I want you to be unique, but unity is knowing when and where conformity actually is helpful as well. And let's be real. There's a lot of unhealthy things going on in the LGBTQ community. It's pretty easy to see as a mental health professional. That doesn't mean I have any hatred for anybody in the LGBT. Man, my tongue is getting all tied up to me. The LGBTQ community. What it means is that where there is something that is unhealthy going on, it's really important that we show up to love, not condone, but support, care for. Like, if you're a Christian and you're listening to my podcast right now, did Jesus hate the prostitute? Absolutely not. Did Jesus hate Satan in the desert? Trick question? No. No. What he didn't like in the desert was that Satan was trying to deceive him. It's not about hatred ever. There was only one time where it was about anger. And that was when people were being blocked from relationship with God. And that was at the temple in the courtyard. That's it. That was it. Look at Jesus's life. That was it. He cursed the fig tree and then made a mess of the courtyard. So when somebody mimics another person, it's usually a form of flattery. It's, hey, I see you. I like what I see, the unity, and I want to be part of it. Okay, so let's go with that for a second. Whose job is it to judge the creator and the actors, actresses, whatever these folks were in this imagery? Whose job is it to judge? Is it yours? Is it mine? Look, if you're an atheist, judge it as hard as you want, because you don't have the Christian mindset, the Christian perspective. If you're Christian and you're judging that, you know you're out of line. Straight up. One of my biggest frustrations that I have experienced in this is listening to a bunch of judgmental Christians who think they know what God's judgment is. That's very frustrating for me. I'm not judging you. I don't know. Maybe that judgment is reasonably placed. I can tell you, however, that it's not your place or mine. You may be right, but you got to ask yourself the question, are you going about it the way God intended? And the answer to that is pretty clear. Nope. And that frustrated me. At first, I didn't know what to do with it. And then I heard also that people were protesting or not watching the Olympics because of this scene. And I thought, how sad is that? You've got these athletes, some of them in their, their teens, some of them in their 20s, some of them are in their 30s and even older, who are competing at the highest level they can in their particular sport. And the audience goes away because of this. Where's the love in supporting those that are not part of it? No, I'm all fine with, like, if you want to write a letter saying, hey, I really didn't appreciate what looked like some disrespect to Christianity, and like voicing your thoughts and your opinions, I'm all for it. There's a way to do it, folks. The way to do it matters. It's no different than what I teach when I am teaching clinical stuff with families. How you fight, how you disagree makes a world of difference. If I come to you and I tell you, you are an idiot, what in the world would stop you from being defensive? Nothing. Zero. Nothing. You're going to get defensive because somebody's coming at you. And what are you going to do? You're just going to lay down and take it? I mean, some very rare people might, but generally speaking, you're going to get defensive. No, when you come at somebody, if you cannot give them feedback from a place of love and care, don't give the feedback. Stop judging so hard. Don't give them the feedback. Bow out. If you have too much emotion to do it from a place of love and care, bow out. Now, in complete transparency, I am a little bit irritated that this representation does look so closely to like the Last Supper. I think it was probably against their best judgment, most likely. And I can tell you for sure, I don't want to miss an opportunity to talk about the Last Supper, the actual Last Supper. And we have, in my time on this planet, 46 plus years on this planet, in my time on this planet, there has never been a greater opportunity to talk about Jesus and the Last Supper. And if you can't see that, folks, you're part of the problem. I don't care if you call yourself a Catholic or a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or an atheist. If you can't see that this is a great opportunity to talk about real life history and to pass on the messages that matter and to do it from a place of love and care, you're missing the boat, folks. And I know many of you probably are missing the boat, and it's okay. I'm not here to judge you either. My hope is that you will share this. Help people see that how you fight or disagree makes a big difference. When you give feedback, it should be from a place of love and care, not anger, fear, hatred. It's not going to do anybody any good. I hope this was helpful. I know many of you were out there were probably hoping that I was going to get to this at some point. Well, there you go. Please like, subscribe, do all those things. Please share this with people. Get the message out that this is a great opportunity to talk about the Last Supper. And if you don't know the story of the Last Supper, pick up a Bible. It's in there. I promise you, it's in there somewhere. Not only is it in there, but you could even Google it and it'll pop up. Of course, right now, if you Google the Last Supper, it pops up all the Olympic stuff at the moment, which is a part of the concern that the Christian community has, but you can still find it. Put in Last Supper Bible and it'll just, boom, be right there. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.